Hi, I'm going to demonstrate my project using Python in Arcade called Yummery. It's a sandwich building game where you try to build a sandwich according to the monster's order. So let's demonstrate the game working. So that was the demo of the game, and now here's the explanation of the code to import some imports and some specifications for the window height, title, player speed, and the setup or the init function. By the way, this is I used the starting template from the arcade website. Basically sets up the game that generates a blank screen with a color background, and you have to do the rest. So I had to define my sprites, which include the monster, the ingredients, all the sprites, the sandwich sprite, the player sprite, and I put up some arrays for helping me match the code, the sandwich in the order. So if they match, the monster is accepted. If not, they don't. Some background sounds, and then I have no reset since you just quit the game. And then some basic drawing the sprites, updating the sprites when the player moves or presses the key, things like that. And then making sure that sandwich follows the player as he walks around and that the ingredients are stacked up, not at the same level. So they're stacked up according to the height that I have defined in here. And that the player is not going outside of the window. It's only within bounded by the window. And then some key interactions. So Q for quit, directional buttons, and then action button, the enter as the main action key. And then it will detect if when you press enter, it will detect what sprite you collided with. If it's the monster, then it will do this thing where it compares if your sandwich is the same as the monster's order. If it is, then success, play this success sound. You reset the sandwich and make another order. If not, there's fail. And then here's some ingredients. Then if the player is colliding with that ingredient, then you add it. And if you press enter, then you get to add that to the sandwich. And if it's the garbage bin, then you reset the sandwich. So there's some sounds too to indicate that ingredient was successfully included. And then on the key release, I just used it for stopping the player from moving when from moving. So I did not do any mouse interactions, so I just kept that as this from the template. And then for the monster order, this is how I generated orders that are randomly popping out of near the monster. So it will first need to pick a random number between 0 to 2. And based on that, it will generate a sequence code for that order. And then the texture for that order too. Visual cue of what the order is. And then the add ingredient, which helps stack up the ingredient. So you specify the texture that you want to append to the sandwich sprite, and then what is the code of that ingredient, like 0, 1, 2, 3 for this, for comparing agent. And then you append that to your sandwich sprite sprite list, and then append your sandwich code for comparing later with the order code. So the reset sandwich only just clears up your sandwich sprite and your sandwich code. So other functions for running the game. So let's go back to the keystrokes because there's some stuff in here. When it's colliding with the ingredients, there's the texture. This one declares the texture, and then the code of that ingredient. So if like get a bread is 0, patty 1, cheese 2, and so on. So that sequence will be appended to the array, the sandwich code array, and then that will be compared here. And if they match, access the master files. So there's still many more things to work on in this project, and I left them in my README file. That's my explanation.